Well, let's look at some larger rocks that are in the back of my truck that I collected metal detecting in Cobalt, Ontario. I'm going to another place tomorrow, and I don't want to drive, 3 hours there, 3 hours back with 500 pounds of rock just sitting in the back of my truck. So before I unload, let's take a quick look and see whether or not I got some successes or some failures. And I'll tell you a story about some of them. So let's take a look. Now before I get going, here is an interesting piece. Wafer thin. Put the pinpointer on it. You can actually see the silver in this rock. And this was part of a vein in a much larger rock that I just decided to break apart rather than hump it out of the forest. Thank God I didn't try to carry it out, because I think it was about 150 pounds, and the only silver in it was this thin vein stuff. But here we go. We'll start with some mid-sized rocks. That might turn out to be pretty good. I think I can see silver in there. Something like that. So there's a little thin vein there, and a much larger vein there. Might be a nice rock to slice sideways. Well, that's better. Urethorite, which is the pink. Bit of silver showing there. I think this end is a calcite vein with something in it. When I dig a rock and I see the red urethorite showing through like on this one, normally it's pretty good. And some of the guns are heavy, so that's about 3 pounds. There's another one. Another one, lots of urethorite on it. Not as heavy, maybe it's somewhat larger, but it's about 3 pounds. We'll slice that one to see what's inside, but see up in here? Just a showing of silver. Okay, that's heavy. Smaller rock, 3 pounds. Keeping track? So this beast of a rock is solid signal everywhere. And it sure is ugly. White calcite, iron stain, pink cobalt. I don't know what's in this one. And it'll be too big for my saw. But we're talking, I don't know, maybe 60 pounds. What a rock. Hoping for better. You know, a showing of pure silver. That's not to be. Now that one, heavy, heavy, heavy. A lot of metal in it of some sort. You can see a little thin vein there. That's all calcite. There is green, which is nickel or nickeline. Other little veins running through it. Hopefully it'll fit my saw and I can slice it and we can look at it later. That's, let's say, about 10 pounds. I'm not seeing any silver come through yet, but definitely a rock worth taking home. Here's another. Up in here you can see the green nickeline, the pink cobalt. So it's definitely a mixed metal. But right there, right there, you can see the silver coming through. You know, not big, but this might be an awfully handsome rock to do some more with. Now, one of the things I learned in cobalt, I bumped into a fellow that was a teacher, and he said something really interesting. Of course, there were silver veins in cobalt that were just pure silver. But when it got to the mixed metals, the highest grade silver was about 4,000 ounces to the ton, and it always showed a little bit of nickel and a little bit of cobalt and a little bit of silver. So this may in fact be a pretty good rock. I'm thinking that's about 20 pounds. Here's one that I probably should have put a chisel in and broken off this vein, unless there's, well, there's still possibly something in just the rock matrix as well. So, I see why I kept it. Real mix in that one too. But let's get into the big boys. Look at this. Multiple veins in this rock. Let's zoom in a bit. See that? But once again, nothing's jumping out at me as silver. Oh, boy. Had to even get that in the truck. Must have been early in the day when I was, ouch, when I was feeling strong. I'm thinking about 120, 130 pounds. Wow. Oh, another small one. Heavy. Maybe 5 pounds. Okay. Look at that rock right there. Zero in. See the vein right there? Put it aside. Okay, there we go. Yeah, maybe right in here. think that might be a beauty. Okay, here is an incredible disappointment. At least I think I'm disappointed. This rock weighs about 80 pounds. And it was covered in clay. Since I humped it back to the truck, of course uphill, in the dark, I had thought I saw shining in through here and over here and on the other side of the rock over here. See that right there? When I tried to wash some of the clay off. But boy oh boy, this rock is brown. Brown is typically iron. So I'm not sure what the heck I'm dealing with here. That may be pyrite right in there too. Or maybe this was the edge of the vein. I don't know. Sure is shiny. That'll take some more inspection. Here's another big rock. Right there. Dirty underneath. Looking like a tombstone. Well, I can see why I picked it up. And your weight? 40, 50 pounds? Okay, let's look at this one. Of course, there's a vein there. And almost nothing in the other half of the rock. Huh. And last and not least, we'll get to this one. So what are we really dealing with here? It's heavy. So it's got stuff in it. Here and there. So I'm thinking it probably has thin veins. Like if we look at it from this angle, I can see, if you can see me pointing, there's a vein that runs up there, and there's another one over here. Huh. Why did I hump that out of the forest, eh? There's a vein up in there. Let's turn this on. Oh. Okay. See that right in there? Wafer thin vein. Wafer thin. This may be very similar to the other rock that I broke up. And I just took the pieces that had silver after I took a sledgehammer to it. But I can see very thin veins here. So it's not a complete waste. I think it might actually be a pretty interesting rock to cut if someone has a saw to cut that. So I'm going to unload the truck and get ready for tomorrow.